FreeMMOStation.com.
Hey friends, I'm Scott Shore, a Full Sail University student for video game design, and I'm here today with FreeMMOStation.com to bring you a first impression review of a game. This game was Prius Online and is now called Arcane Saga Online, and I am here today to bring you basically my thoughts, my opinion, and some of the facts about the game of why you should totally play it or why you should completely avoid it. So please stay tuned, and I hope you have a good time. Alright, so first off, the game features 4 races, and yes, the classes in the game are race locked. So humans, or the Hume, actually use magic and magical kind of stuff. There's the elvish looking race, really looks kind of humanish, and then there's the Bariah, which also looks very humanish. And then we have the Lawn, which is truly different, truly original. It's a lionish race. So they're more, they're tank or they melee DPS. So that's really cool. I'm going to go with the Lawn. Seems really aggressive. I love the Berserker archetype, so I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to try that for this first impression. I did, in fact, though, play as other races, and I did watch videos of other people playing. I tried to grasp this game afterwards and before, but really there's not too much to the game, I have to say, in respect to classes and then individual storylines. Alright, so we get into the character customization. The character customization is alright. It's a little bit fair, but it does suffer from Runes of Magic syndrome, which is your character customization can be a bit immersion breaking. A lot of MMOs either have lackluster customization or they have a really good customization. But then you have games that have options that make your character look dumb. They honestly make your character look dumb, and it's immersion breaking not just for you as a player, but it's immersion breaking for all the other players. That's not fun, okay? So as you can see, there's lots of different color options, and some of them make sense, but some of them are just weird. I could be a pink lion. Really? You're gonna have me be like a bright pink lion? That doesn't seem very realistic. I mean, I know it's a fantasy game, but come on. Immersion is everything in a role-playing game. So that's not the only thing, though. When we actually get into the game, the role-playing game experience is really just quest text. And in World of Warcraft, even, this is a huge thing. There's lots of quest text, but then there's even, like, lots of games have events and everything now where you can go and you play through these events and actual things that happen. In this game, you start off and nothing happens. You are just doing your normal questing. That is not cool for a revamp of a game that did not work very well. I would think that is the main thing that needs to be changed. Though, I have to admit, there are cutscenes in this game. Cutscenes do exist in the game, but it is not relevant. It is not prevalent enough or relevant enough to really warrant me to say that, hey, this is a cool role-playing experience. No, it is not. Okay, so yeah, and then also let's just talk about the scenery. I am playing the game on high. This is high max, whatever. There's really not that many options for different special effects. The game looks pretty horrid, and a lot of free-to-play games don't look terribly amazing, but they at least look original. This game does not. It looks bland. There's hardly any assets on the environment. There's hardly any brushes. There's just really nothing much to it, and it just looks very ew. It looks very ish. Ugh. And so movement across this environment is also very restricting. There are invisible walls that stop you from going over mountains and everything, and invisible walls aren't so bad if the art was actually good, like a game like Terra or something. So I have to say that this game as a combat game, even though it's not standstill, not fun at all. Even standstill games have just a better combat mechanics. Like RuneScape, for instance, or Eden Eternal. Those are 2 standstill games that have just better combat. Even Eden Eternal and RuneScape, moving around just feels better. Like it's so awkward moving in this game. It's not fluid at all, and then games that aren't fluid just do it better. It feels more responsive. This game just feels wonky in a number of different areas when it comes to combat and movement. Speaking of movement, we do have Pero, or mounts, which the game seems to really focus on. It's probably going to be a huge thing in the cash op for this game, but since there's really no discovery to the game, you can't really explore that much, there's really no point in that. And then also, it does not look very good when you're actually moving around on your mounts or whatever. It's just very wonky, like I said, with just the normal character movement. So the actual combat is really weird. One of the features that this game is promoting is that it uses combos, and these combos are where the player can choose spells and the order of the spells to use, and if you initiate this order of spells correctly, you get a little bonus. And that is cool and all, but no, it's not really cool. As a video game design student, I say no to that. Terra did it correctly. This game does it wrong. This game promotes you doing the same thing over and over and over again mindlessly. No, the game should have you be reactive to the environment. If you see a certain spell coming, you dodge and then use a counter spell, or to be proactive and then actually use a certain amount, like a certain combo, and then to later, it's not just to keep using that same exact combo over and over again. This game is, the latter. You just use the same combo, you get the bonus, and then you're done. it's very dull, it's very droning playing this game. You're just walking around, nothing much is really happening. So if you do stay tuned to the end of this review, I will give 3 suggestions, 3 games that I think are really good compared to this game and that you could play for free to play. So I'll suggest that later, but first let me continue ranting about this game. So right now I have the website open. The website, I have to say the art direction, the loading screens, the website, everything looks really nice. I even kind of like the name. So all of it is really inviting, and then the crafting and everything, it seems very deep. It seems like the game is actually going to be very deep. But trust me, on the surface, this game is actually very mediocre and it seems unprofessional. So talking about the crafting, because a lot of people don't play for the action sequences or for the main gameplay. They actually play for the crafting because that's honestly very important. It might be the most important thing of any MMO is the economy. So the economy of this game, I don't really know about the auction house and everything. This is the first impressions, but I can tell you that the crafting does seem at least interesting. The crafting is somewhat similar to Guild Wars 2, but very, very similar to Team Fortress 2. Basically, you take items, you find armors, you take items, and then you break down these items for component parts. Then you can rearrange the component parts to make better items, and then you find certain rare items, and then you can enhance them or whatever. So it's something like Guild Wars 2, but very, very Team Fortress 2-ish. So that seems very, very interesting. But it also, it could be very good, you know, if it's like Team Fortress 2, some people can have really rare and original items, or it could be like Guild Wars 2 and be totally kind of useless-ish, where anybody can get items at the auction house, they don't need to start crafting at all. So it depends on how they do it. This is the first impression, so I honestly can't say if that's good or bad. So basically what I will be talking about from now on is the different spells and the different combat and the questing, which I pretty much already talked about. The questing, nothing much there. Quest text. The voice acting, though, there is voice acting in this game. Not good at all. It's very comical. In fact, I think if they actually promoted the game as a comical kind of game, and if it was actually comicalness, it would do better. But it's not. It's not very, it's just all around mediocre. So the voice acting was not very good. I don't read quest text. Almost nobody reads the quest text, and games that are based on that are slowly dying. The new age thing is to have dynamic events like Guild Wars 2, Realm of the Mad God, or Marvel Heroes, even, which I just reviewed. So that's really cool. Speaking about players, you don't really get to like dive into players. You don't get to play with players instantly like Marvel Heroes, where you can just go and dynamically form parties and fight off villains and stuff and share loot. No, it's totally antisocial. And I was during an event. I did this video during an event where lots of people should have been playing, and it wasn't happening. Actually, there's like this little advertisement that keeps popping up. That's really annoying. I have to say that the UI, I should have talked about this in the beginning. The UI is so cringeworthy. It's so annoying. It's all over the place. Way too wordy. It should have been simpler. I hate when MMOs, especially, they have so many menus and stuff that's popping up all over your screen. It's hard. The game should be really focused on what's in front of you. It should be your character and the environment. It should be you and the environment, and then that's it. And you fighting the environment and playing it. And that's it. There shouldn't be all these weird boxes flying all over my screen and everything. It's not Box Saga. It's Arcane Saga. So I should be doing some crazy stuff. Which even then, the spells, you start out with so many spells. It's really confusing what to do. And I'm not just about to sit there and figure out every little tiny detail, because even then it doesn't matter. Honestly, I can just go and spam buttons and win. This game is just, like I said before, droning. Really, really droning. Overall, I have to say that since I can't review the team play, can't really review the economy, I have to say that without those two things, this game is completely lackluster. So maybe you might want to look into the game's endgame. But honestly, if the game is so boring to play just without that, if the game itself is just boring, then why would you try to get to endgame? Why would you try to move forward? Why would you care and spend all that time when the game is just really ugly? It's just an ugly game. For a revamp, this should have been better. And I think that we need to send a message. So give a like to this video, and you know that'll let people be aware. It'll let the company be aware, like, hey, do better. And then it's going to let other people know to skip this game or maybe try it out if they are still interested in it. All right, so I'm going to give 3 suggestions since you stayed with me for this. The game is very similar in a genre to a game called Untitled Online. And Untitled is aesthetically very similar to World of Warcraft, but it has a lot lore-ish. It's very original with lore. It has some really cool mechanics that I really like. Combat is very similar to World of Warcraft, non-standstill and all that. Really fun. I played with my girlfriend, had a lot of, like I said, I had a lot of fun. It was really cool. And that's, Untitled Online. But now, if you want an action game, like very action-based, Untitled is pretty actiony, but if you really want like an action kind of game, Terra is the way to go. Terra is a free-to-play action game, really, really awesome. But hey, if you can't play Terra and you want to play just a nice MMO, a good original MMO on a lower end game, PC, there's a browser-based game that I recently reviewed called City of Steam, and I actually was able to talk with some of the developers and hang out with them and then play with them. I also did a couple beta events, but I did review on one of the beta events, and honestly, from that one occasion, I had a lot of fun. I thought it was really, it truly is really original. The gameplay is standstill combat, but trust me, the standstill combat feels way more strategic and just way more intense compared to this game, Arcane Saga. So that game is more like a Diablo-ish kind of game, similar to Marvel Heroes, just a little bit slower paced, but the crafting is much deeper. It's really alchemic, very alchemic. Just like I said with Arcane Saga, it's basically like a better crafting. So if you want better crafting, go to City of Steam if you have a lower NPC. If you want more action, go play Terra. Similar world design, but just way more action with the combo system, done much better than in Arcane Saga. And then if you want something else, then go do the other game. That's it. That's all there is. There's just better games than this, and that's my honest opinion. Normally, I try to do positive reviews, and I'm sorry that this wasn't a positive review. But thank you very much for listening and hanging out with me. And thank you. Thank you. I'm Skynet Shore, and I will see you guys later. Okay? Bye.